How do you make money selling information? Because you can sell a product, hard product, you can sell a service in your location independent alpha 2.0 business, or you can sell information. There are pros and cons to all three of these. But in this video, I'm going to talk about how to make a lot of money selling information. This is something I know a lot about. I have made literally millions of dollars selling information over the past, I don't know, whatever it is, 11 years or so. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm Caleb Jones. This is Sovereign CEO. I show people just like you how to set up location independent income, move to a better country, or set up an international backup plan and do all of these things without having to spend a lot of money. So I have been in the information selling. Am I sailing a boat? No, I'm selling. Information selling business for over a decade. I dabbled with it about 15 years ago. I got good at it about 10 plus years ago. And as I said earlier, I've made literally millions of dollars selling information across various different modalities. If you are an expert in a certain area, if you have a strong interest in a certain area, if you are comfortable writing or speaking on podcast or speaking on video, you should definitely look at this, because the great thing about selling information is that it is very high margin. So if you sell an ebook for $70, which is not difficult, especially if you can show people step by step how to do something or more, you sell that ebook, what are your cost of goods? What's your cost of sale? Your only cost of sale really is that credit card charge. The entire rest of that is gross profit. It goes right in your pocket. It's kind of nice. And when you're talking about selling courses or memberships or things like that, the margins get even higher. It's pretty nice. The downside, of course, of selling information is that you actually have to write it or create it or design it. Or if you don't want to do that, you can pay someone else to do that, but that costs money. So again, there's pros and cons to all this stuff. So how do you make money selling information? Number one, step one, and I'm a broken fucking record about this. I've talked about this a lot. You need to niche. Find a niche. Please, for the love of God, do not write a book on how to lose weight. That's not a niche. I'm sorry, it's not. Damn, please do not create a course on how to make money in real estate. That is not a niche. That is an industry. You have to find a niche that is as narrow as you possibly can, and then address a strong problem that niche has or a strong need that niche has. Not real estate. That's not a niche. Not healthcare. That's not a niche. Not nerds. That's not a niche. These are industries and groups of people. What I'm talking about are things like Asian women over the age of 60. That's a niche. Or family-owned restaurants. That's a niche. You need to niche. Find a very, very narrow niche and write or create content for that niche. Do not write to the entire world or an entire industry. It is extremely difficult to make good money fast if you don't niche. You've got to niche, 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 niche. And that is one of the primary things, I've said this 1,000 times, that the vast majority of people who start a business do not do. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people go out of business, because they're not fucking niching. They're writing to the entire world, or they're writing to a massive, gigantic group of people or an industry, and they think they're niching when they're not. Niche. Narrow, narrow, niche. By the way, the one complaint or concern people have is, well, if the niche is too small, I won't be able to make enough money. Here at Sovereign CEO, we talk about making $85,000 a year location independent, or more if you want it. I don't care how small you think your niche is. That is more than enough money to make $85,000 a year many times over. Even in a micro niche, you can make that kind of money. And I promise you, with the skills that I have, I can take your niche and I can make millions of dollars selling to a very, very narrow niche. My favorite example, I've used this example before, is I once knew a professional speaker who spoke to a certain type of power company. There are only 120 of these companies in the entire world. And this guy made $5,000 a speech for a 45-minute speech, was the same speech he gave, and his calendar was 100% booked all year round. This guy made a high six-figure location-independent income because he fucking niched to a tiny little niche. Awesome. If you need help determining a niche for your business, enrollment is still open for the Six-Figure Warrior Mentorship by the end of this month, December 31st. That's 2021, where you work with me one-on-one for an entire year, you and me one-on-one, plus a small group sometimes, plus you get every course, everything I have ever done on one big shebang. It's awesome. Go to alphafocusprogram.com to check that out. You have only a few more days to sign up for this. So if you want in on this, jump on there fast. You can actually schedule a phone call with me to discuss it if you have questions about the program before you start. But that's actually what we do, is we show you how to build a location-independent business, and niching is a core part of what we talk about there. Step number 2, you determine the modality that you're going to use to deliver the information. So what does that mean? Some people are good at writing. That's what I am good at. I'm naturally good at writing. When I was a little kid and they asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be a writer. I like to write. I'm reasonably good at writing. I'm a good writer. So I started writing. If you don't like writing, you could also deliver your information auditorially. That would be over podcasts or audio trainings, or even courses that you deliver auditorially. That could be another modality. Another modality, the best one right now in terms of internet traffic, is video. Doing videos like this, if not on YouTube, then on online courses or other places. A lot of other places to do video besides YouTube. That's another modality. A fourth modality where you could provide your information is other things like providing a locked Discord group or a private Facebook group or over email. There are some coaches that just do nothing but coaching over email. As a matter of fact, I've done that myself in the past. Although coaching is more of a service, but you get my point. Special reports and things like that. That's kind of a weird one. Generally speaking, it's, are you going to write, are you going to speak, or are you going to do videos? Pick the modality you are the most comfortable with, and more importantly, the modality your niche is most accustomed to. Some niches are more accustomed to video than other niches. Other niches are more accustomed to writing. Long, big, complicated blog posts, big, thick books. If you're selling a more academic niche, you probably want to write. If you're selling to maybe a younger niche, you probably want to do short videos. You get my point. And this is a very big topic. Well, are you going to do videos on YouTube? Should you do them on TikTok? Depends on your niche and depends on what you're selling, what kind of information you're providing. But choose the modality and start with one. Now, over time, as you build your business, if you really want to build it in something relatively big, then you can use all the modalities. That's what I've done. I use all modalities. I write, I have podcasts, I do video, I have paid video, paid podcasts, free podcasts. I do all the modalities. So if you want to build a reasonably big income with a big business, your long-term goal should be to hit all the modalities so you can hit all the modalities of your niche. But at a bare minimum right now, we're talking about starting a brand new business. You just pick one, the one you're most comfortable with, and the one that your niche likes the most. Before we get to item number 3, if this information is something that may help you, you should subscribe to this channel. You should like this video. You should put a comment on this video. I don't care what the comment is, whatever you want. And you should click the dumb notification bell. The more interactivity I get of this kind of content, the more of this content I will provide for you for free. Kind of good. Step 3 is to actually create the product that solves the problem. Now, note I said that solves the problem. You don't just create the product and write the book that you've always wanted to write. You're not writing the book or creating the course or doing the podcast for you. You're doing it for your niche. I see a lot of very intelligent people make this mistake when they start information businesses. They write an ebook or a book, or they do a course or whatever, podcast in some cases, and you can tell the content is the content that they want to talk about. It's not the content that relates to the niche. That's who you're writing for. The first book that I ever wrote that actually made real money was a book on how to do online dating way back in 2009. Now, do you really think the big topic that I really wanted to write about from my heart and my soul was how to bang chicks on the internet? No, but I knew back in 2009 it was a strong niche. Today, online dating is not a niche, it's the norm. But back in 2009, that was a niche, and it was a growing niche. I said, aha, there's money there. This is something I do well, so I'm going to write this book. That's the book I wrote, and that launched this entire Alpha Male 2.0 Black Dragon Sovereign CEO business. Not bad. I didn't write what I necessarily wanted to write. I wrote what my niche wanted me to hear. I wanted to solve the problem my niche had. Always write. And when I say write, I mean writing book, podcast, audio training, online course, it doesn't matter. Always write your information as if your main customer is sitting right across the desk from you and he's staring at you like this. And he's saying, how are you going to help me, motherfucker? That's how you write. You don't just write what you want to write. If you want to write what you want to write, fucking write fiction. You won't make any money, but you'll have a good time. If you want to make money, write what your niche wants. And that means you're writing to solve the problem your niche has. Every niche has 1 or 2 or 3 big problems that they need help with, and that's what you're writing. You're helping them solve that problem. Last step, step number 4, is to market. You now need to market and sell that thing that you just created. Too many guys, and again, this tends to be smarter guys, And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, that's most of you in my audience. My audience, the IQ tends to skew higher. The good news is that you guys are smart. The bad news is you guys don't fucking do anything. You sit on your asses. And even if you write a book, you don't actually get out in the real world and market the goddamn thing, or book or course or what have you. So even before you start writing the item, you should sit down and develop an entire marketing plan on how you're going to sell this thing. How are you going to communicate to your niche that this thing is now available and they can get it and it'll solve their problem? How are you going to do that? This is not a video on marketing techniques. I have a lot of videos about that. I have a lot of courses about that. I have the Alpha 2.0 business course. I have the How to Get Clients course, which may or may not be open when you watch this video. I'm not sure, but I have a lot of materials on how to do this. There are a lot of materials on the internet and books and courses on how to market and do marketing and sales and pay-per-click and SEO and blogging and free videos and things like that. Can't go through all that now beyond the scope of this video. But my point is, you need to know exactly what you're going to do in terms of your marketing plan. The last thing you want to do is spend blood, sweat, and tears developing this thing, and now you have this thing developed and you go, okay, now what do I do? That's dumb. You should sit down and develop a marketing plan either before you're writing it or as you're writing it. So as soon as you're done writing it, it's all done, it's proofread or edited if it's videos or what have you. When it's all nice and ready to go to hand actually to your niche, you know exactly how to market. You roll right into your marketing. I'm going to give you something else you can do. Those of you who already have existing audiences, even if you don't have a business, but maybe you have a lot of Twitter followers or Instagram followers, what have you, you can start marketing the thing, guess what, before it's done. Yeah, sometimes in some cases you can market before you even start writing the damn thing. You can say in 4 months, I'm gonna have this book on this. And you can actually sell pre-orders. You can actually start pumping up your audience before it's even written. I've done this several times, works very well. Now, if you don't have an audience, obviously you can't do that. But you guys who are starting from scratch, you can actually start building an audience as you're developing your information thing, your information widget. You can start blogging. You can start doing YouTube videos. You can start doing a free podcast. You can start getting the word out. God forbid, if you're really creative, you can even do pay-per-click ads that go to a squeeze page and you give them some kind of free information widget like the first chapter or the first lesson or something. Perfectly fine. My point is you cannot just kind of put marketing on the back burner and say, oh, I'll figure that out later. That's what most information marketers do, and that's why they never make any goddamn money. That's probably the second biggest reason. They don't market, or they don't market enough, or they don't know how to market. The first biggest reason is they make something they wanted to make and not what their niche wanted. That is it. That is, in a nutshell, how you can make a good income selling information in a location-independent, sovereign CEO business. And if you don't want to do information, you can click this video here. I talk about 5 different ways you can start a location-independent business, some of which have nothing to do with selling information, because I understand some people are not information people. Some people are more service people. Some people are hard products people. That's fine. But if you're an information guy, or even if you think you might want to rewatch this video several times and make some notes. This stuff works. I've done it myself. I know a lot of people have done this. It's not as difficult as you think as long as you follow these steps. I'll see you in the next video. Have fun. Bye.